Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's play some MTG Arena, shall we? Continuing our complete beginner's guide, doing the color challenge, learning the Jace Bellerin aerial domination work here, and we've got to fight our good buddy. Oh my goodness. The green planeswalker. And she's going to have a way to interact with our flyers because her spiders have reach, which means that these cannot fly, but they can block flying creatures. So let's see if we can get around all these spiders. I'm just going to click play. Alright, so we get to go first. We've got 7 cards. We're going to drop an island, and we can drop a wall of runes. So the wall of runes is pretty amazing in the sense that it's a 0/4 defender. So defenders are often walls, and what this means is that they cannot attack. It has 0 power. It's just a defensive card. Blue likes to do this a lot, to kind of stall and buy some time with cheap defense to fight off aggressive decks that are dropping down really quick, small attackers. This has a 4 toughness, which means that it's going to stop things very easily for the first few rounds of play. So this is a nice play to just kind of keep ourselves defended. And, Wall of Runes is also cool because it lets you scry 1. So if we haven't seen scry yet, scry is an ability where basically the number tells you how many cards you get to look at from the top of your deck, and you can either keep it on the top of your deck or put it on the bottom of your library. So this island, for example, we don't really want an island next turn. We've got 3 left in our hands, so scry is really cool because it lets you filter to a small degree and not waste a draw on something that you don't want. So I'm going to put this island, I'm going to drag it over to the left side where it says bottom, so it goes now on the bottom of my deck. I don't know what card I'm going to get next, but it won't be that island. So that card has a lot of value all packed into one. Alright, so now I'm on my turn. I'm going to play an island. I can't do anything else. All of my stuff costs 3. Alright, so Vivian is setting up as well. She is set up with this 1/1, but she's probably not going to use it to attack. It's a ramp card. Ramp is a term that we use in Magic the Gathering, which means you're going to try to get mana faster than your opponent, aka ramp, elevate, and be able to play more expensive cards quicker. So what this means is, like, she had 2 mana, then she played this, which effectively gives her a 3rd mana, so that next turn she can play another mana and play something that costs 4 even though it's turn 3, hence ramping up or accelerating the ability at which she can play her cards. Now I'm going to play an island, and I have a choice. I can play a Cloudkin Seer to draw a card, but this, remember with this deck, the Warden of Evos Isle, if we play this, it reduces the cost of creature spells with flying by 1, so that means that if we play this and then we play an island next turn, we can play both of these Cloudkin Seers in one turn, getting extreme value and establishing a really strong board position. So I'm going to play this first. We don't need to draw a card right now. We're not under threat. This is fine. She's going nice and slow. So on the one hand, she's going nice and slow, but on the other hand, she's put out 3 cards that generate mana, which means she can drop some monster of a card. So it's a little alarming, but this is going to be a big turn for us because we can play 1, we draw a card, and we got a Frilled Sea Serpent, which is a big card of its own for us, and we'll play another. And we draw a card, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and attack. Now this unsummon, we're going to talk about this in a moment, but it's a phenomenally hilarious blue card. And she can't block. She has no flyers, so she has to take 2 damage from our flying Warden of Evos Isle. Now she has a blocker. And she wants to attack with her 1/1. So don't forget that your Cloudkin Seers only have 1 toughness. So we don't want to block the Elysian Caryatid because it'll kill our flyer. But we've got this wall, so I'm just going to click my wall and block. I can do this with extreme confidence. Number 1, because this is only a 1/1, but also she's tapped out. Always check. Is your opponent tapped out? Yes. They have no mana left. So she can't use a Giant Growth or any other kind of instant card to dramatically increase the power of her creature and then kill my card. She can't do anything. There's no surprises right now really from her that we should reasonably expect. So I'm going to say 1 blocker and just not take any damage. All right. So you're going to get some exposure right here to what blue does well. So blue, we stalled for time with the Wall of Runes. And now we got a cheap blocker. We scryed. Scrying is also something blue loves to do. Draw cards, manipulate the deck, get tactical advantage, be very strategic. And then the Cloudkin Seer drew us cards. This card is kind of like blue's version of removal. When I first started playing Magic, I didn't think much of Unsummon. I thought it was dumb. I thought it was like, okay, well, yeah, it slows them down for a turn, but so what? It's huge. The idea that you can lock up their mana and exploit Summoning Sickness to slow them down can be all of the momentum that you need and tempo that you need to take control of the match. So right now, yes, she can block me with this Sentinel Spider, okay? But if I unsummon it, I can now attack for 6 damage through the air that she can't block. Now, granted, that will leave me open if I attack with 3 to taking damage from her attackers. She has a 2/2 Vigilance, which means she can attack freely with this and block with this, but not block any of our flyers. And yes, she could attack with all 3 of these, but if she attacks with all 3 of these, she can't cast the Sentinel Spider unless she has a mana in her hand. And even then, it's only 3 damage, so I'll gladly trade 6 damage for 3 damage, because I'll just block this with my wall. So we're going to unsummon right now the spider. This is something that you want to do all the time if it is meaningful with green. I'm sorry, with blue, which is to unsummon their biggest thing usually, because making them commit and have to spend this much mana again and again is backbreaking. Alright, we're going to go next, and we're going to all attack. 3 attackers, and next, go. End turn. So she's going to summon this again, resolve. Okay. And attack phase, pass. She's going to attack with everything. She did have a mana behind, but honestly, that's good. That means she's got a lot of mana. Okay, and I'm going to go to block the biggest one with my wall. I'll block and pass. Now, we're going to take 3 damage, but before it's my turn, I'm actually going to unsummon this spider right now on my turn. The reason I'm doing it on my turn is because this will allow me then to have all of my mana untapped. I won't have to use a mana. So very, very often with blue, and you'll see this with lots of decks, but if you have an instant card, people will say things like before the end of your turn, if you're playing in person or in MTG Arena, the game will pause for you if you have an instant on their end step. So right now, they're on the end step, and this is an opportunity for us on our turn to react before they finish their turn. We can play instants, and you do this a lot so that you don't have to spend mana on your turn, because we will untap at the beginning of our turn. So I'm going to unsummon their spider right now. I know I want to do that. They can't do anything. They can't recast it. They're on their end step, so it's not like they can just... Even if she had unlimited mana, she couldn't do it because she's not in a main phase anymore. It's after the main phase. So I'm going to play an island, and we can actually play this ridiculously large sea serpent but I'm not going to use this right now. Remember, we're going to play this on main phase 2. So we're just going to say next, and we're going to attack with everything. Can't block, okay? And then now I'm going to drop this down. So what this means is we have a giant 4 power, 6 toughness card. And this is the power of evasion and being unblockable. Another staple of blue. Blue likes to fly, to be elusive, evasive, go invisible. In this case, we can spend 7 mana to make this frilled sea serpent unblockable. So nothing can block this. So we automatically get 4 damage through. And then if we attack with all of our flyers, we really only need to attack with 2. She only has 1 creature that can block flyers that we can see, and she only has 1 mana untapped. Well, she has 4, I guess, if you count these. So it's very unlikely that she's going to be able to block everything. One of our creatures will die getting blocked, but 1, if not 2, will get through, which means 8 unblockable damage to her face, and we win. So always calculate. Do I have lethal? I do. She might have a response that tricks us and, you know, flips the tempo, but what you have to do in Magic is make her have it. She's got to have it. She's got to show you that she can. Don't not try to win because you're planning around something, unless you know with 100% certainty, and it would be a disaster. But usually what you want to do is make them have it. So I'm going to go ahead, and before I go to combat, this ability lasts until the end of the turn, so I'm going to activate this ability right now. Okay? And then now I'm going to attack with everything. 4 attackers. She can block 1, but that's it. Checkmate. Got her. Okay. So now we have taken down the blue versus green color challenge, and now it's blue versus white. We're going to fight a Johnny here and see what happens when we get swarmed from white and we deal with double strike and all of the shenanigans of a soldier or human deck. Alright, a Johnny Goldmane is coming at us. Alright, we start, play an island, and we're done. And we're going to play another island. Now we have a Waterkin Shaman, okay? And we'll play this. This creature is a 2/1, but it gets +1/+1 till end of turn when we play a flying creature. So really good synergy for us. Honestly, this is a pretty terrible card. I wouldn't play it, but it's okay in this deck. We'll play this, and immediately we're going to play this. Okay, we get to draw a card, and this is a 3/2. Now, if we attack right now and they block with the fencing ace, they will both die, because double strike is tricky how it works, but they will deal 1 damage first strike, and then they will do 1 regular damage. And the first strike damage doesn't kill us, so we get to do our 3 damage to them, and we will both be out. Now, I'm honestly okay with that trade. The reason I'm okay with it, it seems like a 1/1 for a 3/2, are you out of your mind? Is because double strike can get out of hand. And another thing I like to think about as a rule of thumb, just think about the trade. They invested 2 mana, 1 colorless and a white, and I invested 2 mana. So I'm okay. It's an equal trade. And then I'll have my flyer on my board, and they won't be able to increase this card into something that I can't deal with. So I'm going to attack. They might not block. They will block. Okay. So, fair trade. Now, they've pacified my card, and that's a shame, because I have so much mana. We'll have to wait. End of turn. Alright, they got another fencing ace. Now, something you want to do against white. Okay, perfect. This is exactly what we wanted. I was going to say, they are playing enchantments. Unsummon is particularly brutal against enchantments because if I unsummon the Fencing Ace, not only do they have to recast it, but the enchantment that's on it will get discarded. And this is also why I want to get rid of this as fast as possible, because a 3/3 double strike starts to get ridiculous. That's 6 damage if we don't block. So, and we can't block because our creature's been pacified, which means it can't attack or block. So we're going to just let this resolve. But now they have no mana left. I am going to unsummon this and just slow them down and make them lose their enchantment. So we killed, 1 card for 1 mana, and my turn. All right. We can't play this yet, but we can play this next turn. This is going to be extremely good for us. This is a 5/5 flyer, if nothing else. All right, so we're going to say next, and we're going to end the turn. Fencing Ace coming down. Oh my goodness. Poor Johnny. All right, resolve. Now, I'm actually not going to use my unsummon. I'm going to save it because I'm going to play this, and this does unsummon by itself. It's got an unsummon built onto it. So I'm going to use this, unsummon this, and save my unsummon. If I were to use my unsummon right now, when I summoned my Riddlemaster Sphinx, there would be nothing to use its ability on, and it would be kind of a waste. So I'm going to just pass and be like, oh man, I'm sorry, we've got a little... Oh, we drew another unsummon. It's not a good day for Johnny. So we're going to Riddlemaster, and I am going to take action and target their only choice. MTG Arena, for the sake of time and convenience, is going to automatically target this because it's their only choice. You can decline this. You don't have to do this. Remember, in MTG, very often abilities will say you may. So this is not forced. You don't have to. But in this case, we want to. So I will take the action. They will lose their enchantment. By the way, you see how the Fencing Ace is revealed in their hand? The reason it's like that, it's flipped over so you can see it, is because when you unsummon, you know, okay, what card was in their hand, so the game will let you know that, like, you can see the card that you bounced back. Now, unsummon, in this tutorial, they're teaching us that unsummon has another use. I could simply unsummon the Fencing Ace and pass. But another thing I can do is use unsummon on my own creature to get rid of the pacifism, because again, it's an enchantment. So I'm going to unsummon my Riddlemaster Sphinx, and then the pacify goes away, and now I have enough mana to cast it again and unsummon the Fencing Ace, take action, and they lose their enchantment, and we've just absolutely rolled them. They're going to summon the Fencing Ace because, of course, but at this point, they're in a world of hurt. Now watch this. I can actually play the Cloudkin Seer to draw a card. I'm playing the Cloudkin Seer, by the way, in main phase 1 because it has draw card, and I like to draw cards before I do combat, just in case. I'm going to summon another Cloudkin Seer and draw another card, and this is the power of blue as well. You see the card advantage that we have. We blew through all their enchantments. They have no cards behind. And we're sitting here, cards everywhere. Now, I'm actually going to unsummon my own Cloudkin Seer, most probably, so I can draw another card from this. But I'm going to wait, because if they put an enchantment down, I want to unsummon this. Next... and I'm going to attack like this. 5 damage to the face. End turn. I knew it, right? Now, another thing you can do, I'll show you, is... I could have been doing this before, but I'm just choosing to do it now. You can unsummon the target and put unsummon on the stack. And so what I mean is, as an instant, this is a sorcery speed. It's an enchantment. I can unsummon this and then Angelic Reward will fizzle. It will have no target and will go to the graveyard. It's the same effect as if I let it resolve, okay? But if it had some kind of effect on this enchantment that would make it like hexproof or something, I do it now. I'll show you. I'm going to unsummon the Fencing Ace now. And then unsummon goes first because it is a instant. Then Angelic Reward goes off and it doesn't have a target, so it fizzles. But the reason I was waiting to end step is because you see how they recasted the Fencing Ace? If I would have waited till end step, then they wouldn't be able to even recast it. So, you know, the summoning sickness wouldn't wear off. It's better to do it that way in some sense, but I wanted to just show you that interaction of using it on a target and causing the spell to fizzle. All right, so now, though, they're in such bad shape, I'm going to play my island, and I'm going to play this before combat because this will pump all creatures with flying by +1/+0, which means they all get this benefit of +1 power. That's why the power number has turned blue, meaning it's been augmented. They cannot block our flyers. I'm going to attack with everything. They're at 3. Now they do have a flying blocker, so they got there like at the very end with a blocker, but it's too little too late. I'll play this just because, and they can't block enough. They will block our Riddlemaster Sphinx without question, but they can't block the 9 damage from everything else. And we win. So how about that? Victory. So that was a really fun one, showing how good blue can be with its quote-unquote removal, its version of removal. It's not permanent removal, it's more like a delay unsummon is, but it's a tempo play, and blue is often very much about tempo. It likes to fly, be elusive, evasive. It also likes to draw cards, counterspell, interact, be strategic, tricky, and play tempo, and unsummon is how you do that. Alright, so let's finish off this color challenge and fight Chandra and see what happens when we go up against red using a bunch of instants and anticipate another style of play. So we saw Reach from green, enchantments from white, play an island, I'm done. And now we're going to see some instants to keep up with our instants. Alright, here comes the aggressive goblin deck. I'm going to play an island, and I can play one of my shamans. Not good at blocking that, but nonetheless powerful. We don't want to block anyway, because if we block this thing, they create a red goblin creature token. So I'm just going to take damage. No problem. Okay. And, Glint is an instant that we have that says target creature gains +0/+3 and gains hexproof until end of turn. So this is going to be something that we play in response if they try to attack one of our creatures, okay? And what I mean by that is we can also unsummon. If they use direct damage from the hand to try to kill one of our creatures, we can play Glint, and not only does it boost its toughness, okay, but it also boosts its, it gives it hexproof, which means you can't even target it. So it will make it immune to the spell. The spell will simply fizzle in response. They don't get to retarget it. So we could save this. If I play my shaman, I won't be able to play this as a response, okay? But to be honest, I'm okay doing it this way. So I'm going to say next. And, oh, that was a mistake. I should have played my shaman first to do the extra point of damage. Silly me. Okay, I let them off the hook there. So, remember to play this on main phase 1 to get the benefit. Now, this says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Spellgorger. Weird. So, this thing is annoying. It's going to get big as they cast instants and other, sorceries, non-creature spells. But it's another reason why Unsummon is so good, because we can unsummon and get, when it goes back into the hand, they can recast it, but it will not have any of the +1/+1 counters on it anymore. It will lose all of that. So do I want to unsummon that right now? Not yet. Pass. They're going to attack. I'm going to pass. I'm going to take a damage. A lot of the times with a goblin like this, you just take a damage. I don't want to block it, lose a creature, have them make a token anyway. I'm just going to take one. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. So now we can play our Cloudkin Seer. And draw a card. I'm going to do it right now so I can see what cards I can get. And this pumps up our creatures. And we get another Glint. Fantastic. And I'm going to say next. And I'm going to attack with both of my shamans. If he wants to block with his Spellgorger, that's great. He will. So we can go ahead and trade. And I don't have to worry about this thing pumping up and getting stronger. +1/+1 counters are much better than my temporary +1/+1. They're going to cast another one, that's fine. And we just say, okay. And we'll pass. And they're going to attack, we'll pass. I'm not going to block. Again, I only have a 1 toughness creature. So here we go. Island. Now we could summon the Windstorm Drake, which will pump up all of our creatures. It's a flyer, so this will get bigger. It will use all of our mana, though. I'm going to summon it anyway. And I'm going to attack with everything. Now, you might think this is strange, but I'm going to do it because I want that Spellgorger dead. I don't want it to get bigger. Oh, okay, darn. So they're going to... They played Active Treason, which basically temporarily gives them control of our creature. It's annoying because we were tapped out, so we couldn't play any of our responses. They did Shock, which is the kind of common red instant. It does 2 damage to a target, so we couldn't glint or even unsummon because we paid everything for this. But they only took temporary control of this, so at the end of the day, we have 4 cards in our hand and a 3/3 flyer. They only have 2 cards and a 1/1. So we're ahead in board state and in our hands. I'll attack. There is no reason to not attack right here. We want to take the race to them. They only have 9 health left. Go ahead and finish the turn. Okay. Now they're going to try to Active Treason. But in this case, I can simply glint my Windstorm Drake. Okay. And resolve. This can't work, so they just waste their turn. They will probably attack me, okay? And I'm just actually going to unsummon their cadet. They're going to recast it, but at the same time, it just loses them some tempo. And my turn. Here we go. Now we can draw a card. Tremendous. I'll play this island. Alright, and I'm going to attack. Now, you notice how it keeps pausing on them? That's an indicator whenever you see that they have an instant to use. So watch out for that. I'm going to attack with this. And next. And they're almost dead. Now they're going to try to shock my creature. Okay. I could unsummon it to protect it, to return it to the hand. But instead, I can just glint and also protect it like this. And now they're in a world of hurt. Pass. They're going to attack. I'm actually going to just take the damage. No blocks. I'm not going to unsummon it. I'm going to take it. Because I want to save unsummon just in case they play a creature right now. Or... Oof. Okay, well, that's really scary. They had a direct damage spell from their hand. They can't kill us, but they can do 6 damage to us. If we were lower, I wouldn't have let this through. I would have unsummoned it, but I was planning ahead for us having lethal, which we do. So they get to hit us for 6. Chandra burned us up, but we get the last laugh, which is I'll play an island. Next, all attack. Next, go, go. Fantastic. And we complete aerial domination, so we get a new kind of card style for the Cloudkin Seer, and we get 1 uncommon and 2 common wild cards, and we'll take it. Reward. Oh, they want us to play another human being, that's right. No, we can do that. Let me go into that. I thought that I just clicked that to get the reward. I forgot that they wanted us to play somebody. Okay, we'll place just some random person with this deck. So we're going to play a person, and, you know, we'll see what we can do. Now, they're going first. And do we want to keep... I'm actually... I don't love this hand. I'm on the mulligan, and I'll keep this hand. The reason I didn't love that hand, it was only 2 lands, and I had like 2 glints, but not enough creatures. Glint is not really a card that I'm looking for. We'll keep 6, we'll put the island on the bottom, and we're good. Alright, they're playing white. Okay. And they're thinking about what they want to do. They have an option, otherwise the game would have immediately passed for them. So they're contemplating, and they're playing a Hallowed Priest. Okay. So we're going to play an island, and I'll play my Sword Guardian, which is a 1/3. So this guy is going to get a benefit whenever they gain life, but they don't have any means of getting life right now. Unsummon is going to be very powerful for us, in the sense that, what does this do? If you would gain life, you gain 1 life plus 1. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to Water Knot their Angel of Vitality. Okay, so the Water Knot just says this creature is going to be tangled up and is not going to be able to do anything. So I'm just going to put this right here on their Angel of Vitality, and it becomes tapped, and I will attack with my Sworn Guardian. Okay. Alright, they didn't attack for some reason, and I'm going to play this, okay? And I'm going to attack with my Sworn Guardian. See if they do anything. They just let me attack, okay? And then I'm going to summon in main phase 2 the Octo Prophet. So we get to scry 2. So now we get to look at the top 2 cards. And to be perfectly honest with you, I do not want another Glint. And I don't even really want a mana. I want a card that I can use. Yes, I need mana to cast a Frilled Sea Serpent, but I need 2. And I want something like a flying creature. I don't want a land right now. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, they must have something large if they're not using anything. And they play a kitty. Okay. Alright, they are going to attack. Huh. No, they're not. Okay. Very good. So... I will now... I'm going to attack with everything I got. Okay, and we'll summon the Waterskin Shaman. Or Waterkin Shaman, rather. And end the turn. So the Charm Stray will get them pump up the Hallowed Priest, sadly. Okay, they're going to summon the Inspiring Commander, so they've got a big one out there. And that's fine, we're going to let this happen. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pass. And we'll see, are they going to attack? They're not actually going to attack. So what I'm going to do on end of my turn is just unsummon that. So that card, as we've seen, it snowballs, meaning like they're going to get a whole bunch of, you know, opportunities to draw if they can keep playing that. So we definitely don't want them to have that. I'm going to go next. I'm going to attack with everything here. If they block the Waterkin Shaman, I will just play Glint. They are not blocking. And we'll play this. So we're going to cast this again, unfortunately. And they are going to attack. Interesting. Okay. So pass, and I'm going to block the Hallowed Priest right here. I'll take the 1 damage. They will heal. Alright, so they healed 2 because of the Angel of Vitality, which is unfortunate, but what can you do? And now I need to attack with everything. I really have no choice because I need to put the pressure on them. This is going to get them to snowball if I don't stop them, so I got to stop them. I'm going to attack with everything I've got. Now they're going to block right there, which is quizzical, but that's their choice. It blocks the most damage, but they could have killed that if they would have blocked with it, but they didn't. Alright, so this is unfortunate. We're not getting what we need with this deck, which is we got like basically what we drew with our deck is terrible creatures. None of the flying creatures that we want, just like a bunch of garbage merfolk. So we just haven't been able to put the pressure on like I want. Right. Yeah, and now they're just kind of winning because of the commander. So rough. Alright, well, that happens. If you don't draw, you know, what you need. They should have, they probably just drew that, but, yeah, the game is basically over at this point because, they've built this board with the Inspiring Commander. I just couldn't keep him off the board long enough. Okay. Right. Even if I get this... Well, no, I can't win because even if I get the Sea Serpent at this point, they're going to be healing and getting +1. So we are simply going to concede the match. When you're playing with the starter deck, they're pretty much... like, they've got not one path to victory, but we just didn't draw anything good. And so we can't, if they get this and we can't kill it, we kept it off the board as the best we could for 1 turn, then they snowball ahead of us. But the nice thing is, in the color challenge, we get the reward. So we unlock that reward. I thought we did, but anyway, hopefully we did. And we can go back Why didn't we get this reward? Do we have to win to get it? No. Oh yeah, I guess maybe we do. Maybe they're saying we have to.
This is all just an illusion.
We have to win the match. Well, we didn't win the match, so we'll need to win. We'll need to get lucky and just draw in the right sequence, or we could modify the deck and try to make it better. But for now, this is fine. Everyone, I hope you're still enjoying this guide. I hope you're finding this useful. We'll move on to doing some of the other color challenges to show you these next time. Take care.